This is a Squiz podcast. We're your shortcut to being informed.
Squiz Kids! It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Good morning and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Monday, November 8. In Squiz Kids Today, adult nappies for astronauts, Aussies through to the World Cup semis, surprise addition to the Toy Hall of Fame, and the world's ugliest potato. That's what's making news, kids style.
The lowdown.
Astronauts preparing to make the journey from the International Space Station back down to Earth are going to be making the trip in nappies after the toilet in their space capsule broke down. As we speak this morning, the 4 crew of the SpaceX rocket ship, who have just spent 6 months floating around high above our heads at the International Space Station, will be strapped into their spacesuits wearing an adult nappy each, thanks to the fact that the return trip to Earth in the space capsule will take about 20 hours. Imagine going on a holiday road trip with your family and the car not stopping for a toilet break for almost an entire day. That's what the astronauts will be enduring. But because they're scientists and have trained for extreme circumstances, the astronauts have all shrugged off the inconvenience of not having a toilet for 20 hours by saying that they're sure that they'll manage. The SpaceX capsule is expected to splash down at about 10 o'clock tonight in waters somewhere off the coast of Florida in the United States. In other exciting news, the nappy-wearing crew have posted photos online of chili peppers they grew in space aboard the space station. Now, that might not seem like a big deal, but growing food in space is actually remarkable, as plans continue to be drawn up to set up a permanent human base on the Moon and Mars. Veggies in space. It's a thing.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in New Zealand, just across the ditch, where a couple of backyard gardeners called Colin and Donna have dug up the world's largest and ugliest potato. Weighing almost 8 kilograms, the massive vegetable, called Doug, on account of that's what was done to get him out of the ground, has become something of an internet sensation, as well as a local celebrity after Colin built a little trolley for Doug to parade him around their town. There's a good chance Doug will be declared the biggest potato ever found by the Guinness Book of World Records. The current record holder is a spud from Britain that weighed in at a paltry 5 kilograms. As Colin says in the video of Doug that I've included in today's episode notes, holy snapping turtle teeth. And if that isn't the best expression you're going to hear all week, then I'll eat my hat.
Sport time.
89 runs from 56 balls. That's what Aussie batsman Dave Warner hit in our T20 World Cup game against the West Indies at the weekend, sending us straight into the semi-finals this coming week. The Aussies cruised to 2 wickets for 162 runs, beating the Windies, who lost 7 wickets in their 20 overs and managed only 157 runs. Mitch Marsh also starred for the Aussies, hitting a sweet 53 runs off 32 balls. The semi-finals start this Thursday, in the wee small hours of the morning here in Australia, on account of the fact the World Cup is being played in the United Arab Emirates, so several time zones away from us. Could be a few late nights being pulled this week, I think.
Pop Culture Corner.
Ever heard of America's National Toy Hall of Fame? No, me neither. Until yesterday, when 3 new toys were inducted, which is a fancy word meaning admitted, into the Hall of Fame, joining classic toys like Hot Wheels, Scrabble, the hula hoop, the teddy bear, and the Super Soaker as examples of the best toys that ever existed. And the 3 new members of the Hall of Fame are American Girl dolls, the board game Risk, and Sand. Yes, that's right, sand. Sand was judged a more worthy Hall of Famer than Cabbage Patch Kids, Masters of the Universe and Billiards. The first two of which you've probably never heard of, but trust me, they were big when I was a kid. So why did sand get the call up to the Toy Hall of Fame? According to the judges, it's because it's been a popular thing for kids to play with as long as kids have played. In previous years, the Toy Hall of Fame has also honoured the cardboard box, the blanket, and the stick as examples of amazing toys. Have these people never heard of Xbox? For a full list of all the toys in the Hall of Fame, check your episode notes.
Time for the Squiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. What unusual toy has been inducted into the American Toy Hall of Fame? That's right, it's sand. Question number 2. Which team did the Aussies beat at the weekend to make the T20 World Cup semi-finals? You got it, it was the West Indies. Question number 3. What vegetable have astronauts grown aboard the International Space Station? Yeah, it was chili peppers.
Shout-outs.
It's November 8, the start of National Recycling Week in Australia. The theme this year is Give Your Stuff a Second Life, meaning use what you own before buying more stuff. It's also a special day for these Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday today. Ellie from Lobethal, Helena from Ellenbrook, Amy from Parkdale, Robbie from Ashmont, Phoebe from Mount Annan, Millie from Randwick, Allegra from Five Dock, Jed and Olivia from Mornington, and Viola, who's listening all the way over there in Italy. And a belated birthday shout-out goes to Starlet from Binalong. And classroom shout-outs today go to Class 5-6 Roseleaf and Mr. Richardson from Newtown Public School, Class 3L and Mrs. Lewis from Carlingford Public School, and Class 5B and Ms. Krisnar at Neutral Bay Public School. Oscar from North Perth Primary School sends a shout-out to his pre-primary pink class and wishes his teacher Miss Smith a very happy birthday. And finally, Harry from Glenbrook Public School in the Blue Mountains sends a shout-out to Class 340 and his teachers Mrs. Owen and Miss Powell. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout-out, or if you're after a classroom shout-out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au. Well, that's all we have time for today. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back again tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent Monday. Over and out.